Good morning, my dear friends. I want to show you this rose called Donatella. It is a new variety from Meilland, the French breeder. This rose reminds me of Mademoiselle Meilland with the very strong, oh my god, with the very strong fragrance. It's definitely fragrant of French perfume, very strong. And look at this one, half open flower. It's so magnificent. And what I like about this rose, that she opens so slow, you know. To open this flower, it took her maybe a week. And this one, it's also probably it's her third day. From this stage to that stage, it took her quite a long time. But I like this kind of, you know, flirting. I call it flirting because the rose like opening slowly and slowly, day by day, a bit. She's like flirting with you. That is beautiful, and it's got really big size of flowers. She does remind Mademoiselle Meilland. Stunning, absolutely stunning rose. And look at the inside, the petals. Beautiful. And I really like that one. Look at that. Huge. Very classic rose. Classic shape. It is a hybrid tea, as you can see from the shape. Yeah, Donatella. Very beautiful rose with the very strong scent. So strong. Like a sweet, flowery scent, but so strong. And in comparison to Donatella, that is Mademoiselle Meilland. And as you can see, yeah, this flower is already like finishing her bloom, but you can see the shape is a bit different. Mademoiselle Meilland is kind of opening fully her flower, but Donatella, she stays half open. But the color wise, it's quite similar. And the scent, my god, this flower is finishing her bloom, but it's already still got very strong scent. Beautiful. And there is Bright Smiles, who is following my videos. I showed last week that this rose was like yellow for some reason, just yellow, because normally this rose gives a bit of pinky edge of the petals, but in this wave she didn't, and it became quite pale, nearly white, creamy color at the end of her bloom. And look, overall it gives a very beautiful view of the whole bush. I've got a tree rose. It's wonderful to have her as a tree rose as well, but you can imagine if you got if you purchase a bush, you can see how it's gonna look like. And you got all different shades with this reddish at the edges, or just yellow, and then creamy white, and always healthy foliage. The foliage is very healthy. This rose is healthy, like you don't need to do anything or like very, very minimum. And I want to emphasize that these rows, this area is quite shady. And look her performance in this condition. Beautiful. She definitely made me smile. Bright smiles. Very nice. Yeah, and the colors are plain. Very beautiful. Very, very beautiful rose. There is no scent. Absolutely stunning, isn't she? And that is the Dixon rose, Ushaki Kiran. A little update about this rose. Look at her. The shape also looks very beautiful with the different stage of bloom. She's beautiful. Look at this spectrum of the colors here. And this rose, you know, you have to have like a very certain condition for this rose. It should be not windy area, it shouldn't be direct sun, and it shouldn't be very shady. And for some reason she really liked this location. This is how she's finishing her bloom, and that is the new bloom. It is a Floribunda by Dixon, English breeder. And because I have this wall, it's a garage wall, protecting this rose from the strong winds which we have on this part of England. And she kind of liked this location. She gave me quite a job last year. She was very difficult and naughty, but this year she became a lady. Shiny, shiny foliage and beautiful flowers. Look at that. Very beautiful. There is no scent. I don't think so. No, there is no scent. But do we really need it? I don't think so. And I want to show you this rose, which is called Chippendale Gold. We know Chippendale, also known as the Duchess of Cornwall, the pink color rose. And this is exactly the same rose, but gold, like yellowish gold color. Exactly the same shape. Also gives the shape of the bush, quite roundy. Very neat shape. And the interesting fact is that this rose you can see on a website on sale in Tantau in US, but for some reason it is not available on the website Tantau in Europe. I don't know why. I don't know what is the reason. Oh, look, she's beautiful, stunning. And all the characteristics are exactly the same as Chippendale, the one we know. And it's just the color difference. And because I really like my tree rose Chippendale, I'm looking forward to find the Chippendale Gold as a tree rose. Beautiful, isn't she? And very, very nice shape. Very nice shape of the bush. Absolutely adore this rose, and very long lasting, same as a Chippendale. Long lasting flowers. No scent, but long lasting flowers. There is a very new rose in my garden called Institut Lumiere. It is a French rose as well. Very and very new. When I bought this rose from one lady, and she told me, I'm so sorry, the condition of the bush is not great, which you can see, but it's okay. It's okay, she can revive in my garden slowly. I'm not worried about that. And look at it's like shining from the inside, like a candle from the inside. I don't know if I will be able to show this through the camera. And I don't know about the scent, by the way. Oh yes, there is a strong scent. Yes, it is a strong scent. Like the one which I showed Donatella to you at the beginning of my video. It is not as strong as Donatella, but there is scent. Institut Lumiere. Beautiful. Looking forward, I'm looking forward. And that is incredible Miyabi, the French Japanese rose. That is Miyabi. Long-lasting flowers. She could keep flowers, I don't know, for weeks and months, and heat tolerant, rain tolerant. I think it's one of the best creation in Japanese roses. She's quite tall, but amount of flowers she gives. That is Miyabi, and I will show you here to compare. That is Miyabi cha. At the end of the flowering, they look kind of similar, but then they just start flowering. There is a difference because Miyabi cha is more beigey, peachy color, and Miyabi is more pinky. Beautiful, beautiful rose. Very high tolerance to everything. The only downside is there is no scent, but it is actually not a downside for this rose. Highly and highly recommend Miyabi as a rose. Just you can plant this rose and forget, and she will grow. Always happy. Very, very, very good rose. Also want to show you Capri Tantau rose. I can't just miss her. You know Capri very well. It is a highly scented rose. Oh, it is so beautiful smell. And I've got her as a tree rose. It is the end of her blooming period, like it is end of her, I think it is the third wave, I'm not sure. And look how beautiful she looks as a tree rose. Absolutely stunning. I love this rose. I'm so in love with this rose. And if you decide to have Capri, the best is to keep her in a partly shade areas. This rose doesn't like sun, but she loves sun, but in a certain period of time during the day, but not the whole day. And she's absolutely stunning rose. Capri. The rose which, you know, she touches the inner the inner nerve of you. The one which you are hiding somewhere. It is a beautiful, beautiful rose. Let me keep this. She's a bit, oops. Yeah, wonderful. Very beautiful. There is rose called Admiral. And if you want like a black rose, it's basically when it is a bud, the buds are almost black, but then she opens to this Bordeaux color. I've got hazel tree rose, but I wouldn't recommend to have hazel tree rose. As you can see, shape is not actually for the tree rose. And this rose I had, it seems like she doesn't like this location, because I knew it is her third year with me, and the first 2 years she gave absolutely beautiful, huge flowers. Not this year. She doesn't like this area at all, because this area is quite shady, and she doesn't like the shady areas. She prefers sun. By the way, she tolerates sun quite good. Not direct sun for the whole day, but she was kind of okay for a couple of hours with the direct sun in the previous years. That is the rose called Theodor Fontaine rose. It is a, I think it is a Kordes rose. And look at the curly petals. There is no scent. This rose is created to be as a tree rose. The only thing is, when I moved to this area and it was January and it was cold, and I was just planting flower, like planting roses, you know, just planting without ever thinking. And this rose ended up being here, which is quite shady area. But if it is a bit sunny area, this rose will perform much better. She'll be covered in these flowers. The whole bush like will be covered. And you can see that is a wonderful rose to have as a tree rose, as also to have as a bush rose as well. The flowers are not really long lasting. For example, this one is maybe her maybe 5 days, 1 week. And if it is a sunny location, maybe it's going to be even less. But because it's constant bloomer, you will not notice that. It's Theodor Fontaine rose. Beautiful rose. And this rose called Vivian Westwood. It is Italian rose, Barni. The breeder is Barni. And it is a beautiful color rose. That was one is finishing her bloom, but this one started recently. There is no scent. The only thing is this rose is catching powder mildew very easy, but could be because of the location she's in. That is quite shady location, and that could be the reason why I have problems with powdery mildew on this rose. You can see it already there, you see. And I do constant treatment on this rose, but still she got powdery mildew. It could be because of the location. Next year I'll try to plant her in a more like sunny location, and I hope it will not happen next year. That could be the reason. That is why I'm not blaming the rose at the moment. I'm blaming myself to plant her in this location. But it is absolutely beautiful rose. There is no scent, but look at the beauty. She's a stunning rose with the colors which attracts and gets you. And she definitely gonna be in a different part of my garden for the next year. And there is another Dixon creation called Amelia Liz. She has these purplish edges which you can't really see, but when you're next to this rose, when you're standing here, you can notice. I think you can notice on this one. Very good health as well. Dixon roses floribunda. This rose I really value because when it was end of the Dixon as a rose breeder and he decided to retire, he I think he was selling 5 roses on his website as a new and the last varieties, and I bought 4 of them. And then I decided, because I'm not, like when I was looking at this rose on the website, I wasn't that impressed. But then I was thinking and thinking and thinking, and then I decided, no, I need that rose as well. And oh yeah, you can see it here. And then I sent an email saying, please, could you add this rose as well to my order? And then I received the email from Dixon himself, and he told me, I'll give you as a present. I'll add it to you, you don't need to pay anything, and that is a present from me. And it was so touchy. And then when I looked at this rose, I think about that person, and I can't imagine how hard it was a decision for him, you know, just to move forward and just retire and not to be involved in the future creations. Yeah, it makes my heart breaks, but this is what I've got from him, and I really appreciate. And this rose is going to be forever in my garden. It is a beautiful rose. Amelia Liz. And this rose called the Scent of Woman. But this rose doesn't have scent. I think once on the video I was showing this rose previously at the beginning of the season. And look at the petals, it's beautiful structured petals. She gives lots and lots of blooms. This is kind of like the end of the wave. And that it. And she's gonna finish, I think, this blooming season. Or maybe she will give another wave, who knows? Italian rose, you can expect anything from the Italian roses. They're quite good performers. Look at that, the shape of the petals, so beautiful. Yeah, the Scent of Woman, with no actual scent, but it's a beautiful rose. There is Tranquility from David Austin as a tree rose, you can see. Also looks very good as a tree rose. And the color, the color is more creamy than white. Looks beautiful as a tree rose. Tranquility by David Austin. And how can I just miss this rose? red Leonardo Da Vinci. This rose is created to be as a tree rose, and the difference with the pink Leonardo Da Vinci is that this rose is scented. It's a beautiful, beautiful scent, and each flower is an art. Always this tree rose reminds me of the cherry tree. The color, and you know, there's a difference in the shiny bright, like, no, it's actually dark, shiny dark color of leaves, and the very berry like color of flowers. Looks like cherry. Looks like cherry tree. And the very long lasting, really long lasting flowers. Red Leonardo Da Vinci. Wonderful scented rose. And I want to leave you with this rose love song. Look at the size of the bush, with a massive, huge size of flowers. And look at the color. Stunning, stunning rose. Love song. And have a wonderful day. Enjoy your weekend. And keep the big smiles on your face. Big smile. A big smile on your face. And take care of your health. Bye bye.